TNT takes. This is NBA playoffs edition, round one edition, Heat getting swept edition. But yeah, I'm Tyler Schoonover with Trey Sizemore. We'll just get right into it. We'll start with round one, Heat versus Bucks. I got plenty to talk about it, but since it's your team and your embarrassment, you can go ahead and talk about them since you guaranteed a victory here.
It's not like an embarrassment. It is, but it's not, because it really proved that maybe Tyler Hero is not the thing, like we talked about before. And I know you bashed me saying that the reason I didn't want to get rid of him was the whole Harden deal and all that stuff. But that was never the thing. Like, I was always cool getting rid of Hero. It's just for what pieces they wanted besides Hero. No one else really saw Hero. Like, I'm guessing Pat Riley still thinks Hero is. Put the broom away. Put the broom away.
That's why it's an embarrassment, okay?
But the biggest thing for me is that Jimmy is a number one in the locker room. Like, he's a true Heat culture player the way he plays. But he's not a true number one scorer. And our biggest issue is finding a guy who's going to go out and drop 40 when needed. We have Bam, who said he was playing with a chip on his shoulder for Defensive Player of the Year. And there's like a lot of games he only had like 3 rebounds.
I will tell you that I don't care if he was playing with a chip on his shoulder for Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody played defense.
No, if that was his chip, then he's got defense. Some other issues. That's the reason why he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. And during the regular season, he locked Giannis up a lot. He was the best defender on him when we played. And then Giannis is just schooling him with ease, getting 17 rebounds at some games. Like, you're a center. I don't care how tall he is. Like, you're known for blocking shots and getting rebounds, being athletic big, and you're not being athletic big.
I was thinking that Bam is a really good matchup for him because Bam can move laterally. Bam's got his strength. He's got the size. Thought Bam would be a really good matchup for him, but I think a lot of it was switching. But is that all you got?
Yeah, we just need another scorer and get rid of. I love him. I love how when he came from the Suns. I love Dragic. He's one of my favorite point guards on the team. He makes me mad a lot. But he's hurt too often, and money he's given, we have to move on. If it's keeping Nunn and making Nunn the starter, if it's somewhat making Hero the starter, we don't know what that is. We don't know what Pat Riley's going to do. Every year we got swept in the playoffs, about 75% of our team did not come back. So there's no clue what we're going to do with this. And also to end it, we got stomped 3 of the 4 games. It wasn't a good series at all. The best game was game
first
1.
Game, yeah. First game was close. I thought it was going to be a good series.
Blowout.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was we'll talk about maybe some moves they can make after we discuss this whole sweep. So what I saw was they shot 39% from the field, which is just terrible. Through 4 games, shooting 39% from the field, you're not going to win a game doing that. And they didn't. Shooting 36% from 3, not too terrible, but that's still not good. They got out-rebounded by 64 rebounds over the course of 4 games. That's not you're not going to win games like that either. No. And that's not just from missed shots. You guys missed more shots, obviously, because you shot at 39%. But that's not how they out-rebounded you. They also out-rebounded you 25 on the offensive glass. That's huge numbers right there. I mean, if you just count that as points, that's 25 extra points right there. Over the course of 4 games, it's still a decent amount of points there. And then what did we say they needed to win this series? We said they needed the bubble Heat, and they needed Hero to show up. And none of that happened. Hero did not show up. Hero shot 32% from the field, 37 from 3, averaged 10 points, and had a plus-minus of -34.
Yeah.
Nobody had a positive plus-minus, I'll tell you that. Jimmy Butler, supposed to be this great defensive two-way player. He's supposed to be, this lockdown on the court. I mean, he's not the best scorer. You already said that, but averaging 14.5 points isn't going to cut it. And having a plus-minus of -86 is awful. He's not a number one, at least offensively.
Yeah.
But Bam was supposed to show up too. Bam averaging 15 and 10 isn't bad, I guess. -47 in the plus-minus.
It's bad. We don't even talk about the plus-minus at all.
Yeah, but I mean, and their defense was okay. I don't think their defense was that bad because they gave up a lot of points, but I think that all comes to the rebounds. And I mean, 47% from the field isn't that great. 33% for the Bucks from three isn't that great, but the 118 points a game is tough to beat. Yeah, and we've already said they didn't have good defense. Their defense was, I mean, I don't know, it wasn't bad though. It's mostly that points per game and the rebounding that killed them.
Yeah.
And you guys couldn't make a shot, like I said.
Well, ever since
Duncan
we're little,
Robinson.
whoever gets most rebounds wins a game, like 90% of the time. And if we're getting out rebounded that bad, it's hard to win a ball game unless you're draining threes.
Yeah, which wasn't happening either. Duncan Robinson
Yeah.
averaging 10 points on 37% from three, but Jimmy Butler shot 26% from three and 29% from the field.
Yeah.
Like, that is not playoff Jimmy. He said, hey, just get us to the playoffs and I'll take care of the rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
You took care of it, buddy. You took care of it. You got yourself out of there.
Yeah, and he was telling Pat Riley he wants his 4-year max deal. And if I'm Pat Riley, I'm talking to him. I get what you did in the bubble. I get how you lead us. But that performance right there is not a 4-year max deal.
Yeah, let's go into the offseason then. If they're looking to make a move, I think you have to go after the big names, of course. I'd go after Kawhi. I'm not entirely sure if Bradley Beal's contract is up or if they have like a few more years. I think they have
It's a few more years on it.
Yeah, he's expensive.
The biggest thing though is that I don't know if there's gonna trade because they made the playoffs. It's gonna be hard.
I don't know. They got to be ready to explode that team. Looking for young talent. I'd give them Nunn and Hero and see maybe some.
Nun's a free agent.
Oh,
he wants 15. He wants 15 mil a year.
You guys aren't signing Dragic back. Sounds like if Nunn wants that much, you're not getting him back. You might get Oladipo back
now.
cheap.
The biggest suitor for Nunn, it came out to the Rockets, and the Rockets will overpay. They have money.
Yeah, they can have him.
We had Duncan Robinson, who's a free agent.
And Allen, but
we have Duncan Robinson, who's going to be a free agent. We have Dragic, who's going to be a free agent. We only have 5 people on our roster, and it's Bam, Jimmy, Precious, Tyler Hero, and Akpala. Everybody else is going to be a free agent or the player options and team options and stuff like that.
Yeah, you guys got to go after the big names. Got to go after Kawhi.
You got to go after Kawhi. You got to try to make a trade somehow for signing trades for Beal. Even small ones, like try to do a sign and trade for Josh Richardson back. He's played great for the Heat when he was with us. The Mavericks
he's been awful for the Mavericks.
Yeah, so it might be back to the Heat. If
they want to do a deal, if they want to keep Jimmy, and they're ready for this win now, they don't have the time for Hero to, build and build and build. Mm-hmm. They don't have all those years. I would be looking at trading him, seeing what you could get for him.
Exactly. If I was him, I'm doing a trade for him and a sign and trade for Nunn and try to get somebody. I'm pretty sure package those two, you can get a decent player back. They're still young. You don't know what they're going to do. Hero might turn around next year and go like a Devin Booker type year with a new team.
With a new team. If he's the only guy in that offense, then he could have a good year.
Yeah.
But with your team right now and him coming off the bench, and
like he said from the beginning of the year, he wanted to be a starter. But then when he was a starter, he was still playing bad, so he got moved to the bench. Like
he wasn't doing good.
It's the NBA. You're not going to be given that just because your name and your star thing. Like the Heat were saying all year, they think that his off-the-court celebrity status ever since the playoffs took over his regular play, and it made everybody their head bigger than what they actually were for his play style.
I know Jason Tatum had a good rookie year, especially in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He had a decent rookie year, and then in the playoffs he exploded. They were like, "Oh man, this guy's ready to be a star already." And then his second year was like kind of mediocre, just like Tyler Hero was this year. But then in the playoffs he kicked it back up again, which Hero didn't do. But
it's hard to compare a Hero type play with like a Tatum type play. Yeah. Two different guys. Hero, his ball game is shooting, and this year in general he shot awful a lot. And I kept him in fantasy just because I'm a Hero fan. He's awful this year at shooting.
He didn't look good.
I think for him to actually play good, it's either going to have to be the Heat giving him the franchise, like, hey, go out there and do what you do, see how it works, or a trade with Nunn and Booker for Beal of some sort. We only have one pick in the next 8 years, and it's a second rounder.
Yeah, you guys gotta try to win now.
So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do any type of trades.
Yeah. Well, we know for sure the Bucks advanced. So we'll move on to the Nets versus Celtics, that series, because that was the next one that advanced. Before I say anything bad about the Celtics or how good the Nets were playing, we'll say the Celtics did put out their best effort. They fought us. Nothing was easy. Jason Tatum has proven to be a star, and then they took one game, which is better than most people were predicting. But of course, we won in 5. I was predicting a sweep for a minute, but it's okay. I'll take a 5-game series. But the Nets offense looked pretty unstoppable. We averaged 123 points a game on almost 50% shooting and 43% from deep, which is incredible. And then our defense kind of slacked a little bit. We had some slow starts in the game because of our defense, and then due to some awful shooting in a couple of games. But the second half of game 1, we had some really good defense. The second game, we had some really good defense. The second game was the Joe Harris game. Second leading scorer in that game, 7 of 10 from deep, 25 points. And then, of course, that game 3, we lost by 7 due to, of course, terrible defense, no rebounding, poor shooting. And then, of course, Kyrie couldn't handle, I guess, that Boston crowd because he played like ass. But other than that, the big 3 were pretty dominant all series. They combined for 104 points in game 4. I think Harden had 18 assists that game. And then KD averaged 33, 54% from the field, 50% from 3. Kyrie averaged 25, 50% from the field, 40% from 3. And then James Harden, 28 and 10 assists a game. That's pretty solid right there.
Yeah.
They averaged 85 points a game. It's going to be tough to stop all 3 of them. But yeah, it's our defense that's going to be the struggle for next series. That's what I'm worried about.
In the East, this is the matchup I think best suits who can stop the Nets. I think this is the only team that actually could for how their defense plays. And if Giannis stays how he is, KD can't stop Giannis.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think whoever wins this series wins the finals?
I don't want to say wins the finals. I think they 100% make the finals. But I don't know. It depends on – I could see it because if the Lakers end up losing to the Suns and the Clippers somehow lose the Mavericks, then I see it 100% whoever wins that matchup. I'd say about 75% sure that whoever wins that wins the finals. I'm going to say 75%.
I'm going to say – I mean, if I had to choose, I'd say whoever wins this series wins it all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll talk about how the Lakers are doing in a minute. I think the only thing that stops us is our defense. We allowed 112 points a game to the Celtics. We had a couple of games where we held them under like 105, and that's good defense. But the other games were pretty high scoring. But some of them were in garbage time, and they got their
What's going to be hard is teams with a solid big. I think it's going to be your guys' biggest issue. If they have some bigs who can score, that's what I feel is going to be the weakness for the Nets because the Nets' interior defense isn't as good as you know what I'm trying to say? They can stop Tatum and Kemba because, they're not bigs. They're not going to dominate the paint.
We couldn't stop Tatum.
But the fact is that you play like an Embiid, you play someone like that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Giannis is probably going to have a really good series just because there's no way DeAndre's going to stop him. Blake's not going to stop him. Right now, I think your best option is Claxton if he plays a lot.
So another question I was going to ask you.
He's going to be able to slow him down.
So DeAndre Jordan had 0 minutes the whole first round.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he'll play it all in the second?
I think he will. I think they'll have him be on Brooks sometimes when Brooks in, just because Brooks either going to shoot it or it's going to be a low roll. I think it's a little bit slower center. It's not as athletic as Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams, stuff like that.
I would have rather seen him against Tristan Thompson than trying to guard Giannis, which they're going to try to when they're going to put him on there eventually. He's either going to get strained on him.
They're going to switch to where somehow he's with Giannis. It's going to happen.
And that's what's going to irritate me because I'd rather see him guarding Tristan Thompson and stopping Tristan Thompson from getting 15 fucking offensive rebounds than standing in the paint watching Giannis have wide open jumpers.
Game that Robert Williams had 6 or 9 blocks, whatever it was.
He had a ton of blocks, and I kept saying, why are you guys trying to go up on him? How many times does he have to block him? They kept going up on him, and I was like, that's going to get blocked.
Looks like Hunter on 2K with his center.
At least give him a pump fake. Jeez. But, yeah, we allowed them to shoot 43% from the field. They had so many open threes, but Marcus Smart can't shoot, so they shot 35% from 3. But yeah, we were out rebounded by 21 against the Celtics. So against Milwaukee, that's scary.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to shoot. Middleton will shoot. Drew will shoot.
And that's what scares me too, because if we can't stop. Oh, I know Bryn Forbes can fucking light it up.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
But what scares me is that Middleton is a lot like Tatum. I think they play a little bit similar, and we can't stop Tatum with the shit. We're not going to have troubles with Middleton. And they actually have a second person and a third person that they can go to, unlike the Celtics. So it's going to be a tough series.
That's a good big three against your big three. Three defensive-minded guys against three offensive-minded guys.
Basically defense versus offense in this series. But we got to rebound, and I think we'll be okay. So we'll move on to the rest of round one.
Okay, so this one, that series, what's your prediction?
Between Bucks and Nets?
Yeah.
Nets in 4.
Realistically, what's your prediction? It's not going to be no sweep.
I think if it goes 7, we pull it out because it'll be in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather it not go to 7, of course. I think
personally it's going to go 7. I think it is. But I'm going to toss up on who wins. Depends on how the series is going.
I think the Nets come out and win the first 2.
Okay. I think I still talk 1-1. I'll say that. I think it's 1-1.
And then I think
and Milwaukee goes up 2-0, it's a sweep. Milwaukee's sweeping.
If they go up 2-0, I'm going to be breaking things. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be a really good matchup, though. I think that I don't see anybody blowing us out. That's the thing.
No.
Everybody's going to talk about how they beat us back-to-back in the regular season, but we didn't have James Harden. We were missing James Harden that game, and I think the first time we played him, we were missing somebody too. But we ended up winning that one. Probably, but I think they were missing Drew Holiday at the time, so that one didn't count. But yeah, the two that
KD, Drew. Okay, I'm not saying anything bad.
No, that's my point though. Is that we lost twice to them without James Harden, and it came down to the wire. Like KD shot up a buzzer beater to try to tie it. Yeah. And with James Harden, we are so much a better team, and that's what's gonna be the difference.
It's crazy how much his game's changed, and like how everyone talks about him. He was in the Rockets and next year. Not his game really changing, but like how he's adapting with his teammates more than he did with Houston. I think that he tried to take over a little bit more with Houston instead of like letting it, because he didn't have a KD type. He had Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. You know what I mean?
With him in Houston, the problem was he was just an ISO ball player. Mm-hmm. With us, the problem is when he's out of the game, we become an ISO ball team where it's either Kyrie or KD going ISO. And when he's in, he actually facilitates and gets the ball moving. And I like it because the ball gets moving around, and we're so much better when everybody's moving and touching the ball. And so I think
he finally feels he has someone else who can shoot just as good as him. Like he hasn't had that since the beginning of the days.
And he can go off whenever he wants to. He went off for 41 that one game, even though we lost. But yeah, he had a great game. He was hitting threes left and right to keep us in that game. It was a good game, but we just couldn't ever overcome the lead they had. But yeah, so I'll say that we win in 6. How's that?
Okay.
If we take the first 2, I think we'd end up winning in 5 or 6. If we take that first 2, I'm hoping we do. Maybe I'll come with the broom here in about a week.
In a couple weeks. You got swept.
No. We're not getting swept. I can tell you that. Those 3 can pull out at least one. And I hope we whoop them. I'll go right back to, you know who.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we'll move on to the rest of round 1. Do a little recap here. All these stats that I have, in case anybody watching gives a shit, all the stats that I have are from last night. So I don't have anything from today. There's been 2 games that have finished. So I know the Sixers have, beaten the Wizards. The Sixers will move on. And I know the Knicks have beaten the Hawks, so they will move on. Or the Hawks have beaten the Knicks, so they'll move on. But so we'll just talk about that series a little bit. The Sixers and Wizards was pretty easy for Philly. Even though Embiid missed today, they still won, and Embiid had some knee troubles. I guess he's got a slight tear in his meniscus, which they said he can play through, but it could cause more pain and swelling. And they said that's what Andrew Bynum had.
Oh
when
boy.
he had that when they went to that finals run and Andrew Bynum was
Mhm.
hurt with his knee, and then after that he was just pure trash.
Yeah, but Embiid's skill level is a lot more than Bynum's skill
Oh,
level.
I'm not saying that,
Oh
but
yeah, I know you're not
he
saying, but yeah,
played through it.
yeah.
So, and Embiid's young. He can maybe have a few more years after this if he wanted to
I don't know. You got to
sit it
go
out.
to you got to go to Clint Capella and John Collins. It's two athletic bigs too. If Embiid's out, that's gonna be kind of tough.
Yeah, the Hawks. I think that's what I was going to ask. If Embiid isn't there, or if he plays injured, will they even make it past the Hawks?
If Trae Young plays like he has been, no. If Trae
Ben
Young can
Simmons
still
on
carry
Trey
them,
Young should be
it's
a
gonna
good
be a good
match.
matchup. Yeah, but they don't. The 76ers, if Embiid's out or playing through an injury, they're not going to keep up with two athletic bigs like Collins and Capella.
Yeah, it just depends on how much pain he's in and how much he
The
can play
biggest thing
through.
is Embiid. He's the
Yeah,
X factor now.
yeah. I think if he plays and he's fine, then they'll probably win
I,
in 5 or 6, maybe
I don't
five.
know.
Or
I
I
could
don't
still
know.
see possibly going to the Hawks. It's a toss up for me, but I think no matter what, the winners in 6. That's what I'm
I
going.
know in one of your brackets you had the Knicks taking out the Sixers.
Yeah,
So
one of them did because I wanted Julius Randle and D Rose. I like D Rose, but Julius
speaking of
Randle
that,
he left all of his
yeah,
game in
I was
regular
gonna say
season.
regular season. He's a regular season player.
He's like the
The
old Giannis.
Knicks and Hawks. The Hawks have beaten the Knicks and advanced. Randall struggled through the first 4 games. I'm not sure how he did tonight. I doubt it was any better because they lost.
Check real quick.
You can check, but I'll tell you their stats the first 4. He averaged 16 points a game on 27% from the field. So
Well, he had better
awful,
tonight.
awful.
He had 23 with 13.
What was his field goal though?
His field goal was 8 for 21.
Still not good percentage.
No. And then Trae Young, of course, 36 and 9, but he shot 3 for 11 from threes. He went 13 for 15 from the line.
Yeah, that's
But
Trey
still,
Young.
that's hard to
Like I was
stop
gonna
when you shoot
say,
that much.
but for the Knicks, Randall's not good enough to be a number one.
Yep.
You can't win a championship with Randall's being number one, and I don't even think you can make it out of the first round with Randall being your number one. Yeah, I think he has to be number 3. Honestly, he might be a number
Oh,
2, maybe.
I think right now he's a number 3. I think he could potentially get to a number 2. But I think he's like, I'm not comparing these two players that I'm about to say. I'm not comparing them at all.
Yeah,
But the way that they are with that team, it's like how I was saying with Jimmy Butler. For us to like win a whole thing, Jimmy can't be a 1. Just like Julius Randle can't be a
yep,
1. Like they can be a 1 like the way that they like Randle showed up for the Knicks. Like he led him as a leader. But a play style type player, he's not made for a straight up leader. He's not a Zion type player. Yeah, he can shoot good, but like Zion's a Zion. If once he gets more into the league, I think he'll be a guy who can lead a team, like how young Blake was and stuff like that. But Randle, I think
yeah,
he's just like a Jimmy Butler. You need another guy to be able to score.
yeah. You definitely need. I mean, even let's just say that they went and traded everything they had for Bradley Beal. They have Bradley Beal and Randall. That's not a championship team either. You can have. I mean, you have your scorer and you have a second option, but I think you still need something else.
Yeah.
And that's where I see that Randall has to be a 3 in my opinion. So the Trey Young has been dominating them though. He's been having no problems. He was averaging 27. You just said he scored 35. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that bumps it up to probably 29, 30 points a game. And the Hawks have been averaging 104 points, while the Knicks have been averaging 99. So it's been kind of a close matchup, but the Hawks seem to always pull it out at the end of the game and get up by like
Yeah.
10, 15 at the end. Yeah, but so that series is over. So that means the second round is definitely Hawks and Sixers. And we've already discussed that a little bit. You got who are you predicting though? I know you
I
said the
got
Hawks
Hawks.
could do it.
I got
So you
Hawks
have the
in
Hawks
6.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take the Sixers in 6. So we'll call that for now.
But
Now
yeah,
we'll go on to
no matter what, the Bucks and Nets are making it to the finals. One of those two.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And I would love for the Hawks to be the ones that we play in the conference finals. Give us a nice little sweep to go to the finals.
Oh, I don't. I want to be fun to watch.
We'll get into the West. We'll start with the 1 and 8 seed. Jazz have been dominant with Donovan Mitchell. They haven't lost yet. They're 3-0. So the Grizzlies did take 1, but it was without Donovan, and it was. I mean, they've been fighting though. They have been putting on a good show, playing tough. They've all the wins from the Jazz have come from less than 12 points or less. it's pretty solid for an 8 seed. I'm sure people weren't predicting that from the Grizzlies. One of the losses that came, the 12-point loss, was without Dylan Brooks because he got fouled. He was in foul trouble all game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have two questions for you, if you want to.
Wait,
Go ahead.
tonight
Go ahead.
for the last game, Jazz. I have it right now. Even at halftime, it's 75-51. The Jazz going out scoring like they have been. So I think tonight is going to end that one for sure.
Yeah, most likely. Donovan Mitchell has been playing well.
He's got 26 at halftime.
He's gonna have a good series. Yeah. Next series too. Solid. It'll be a good series against him and the Clippers, most likely. I'm not sure how that game's looking right now.
31-22 at the end of the first, almost.
Mavericks up. Mm-hmm. That'll be good. But we'll go back to the Jazz and Grizzlies. Do you think the Jazz have a shot at making the finals?
I've been the guy who's been saying like they're a regular season type team. Yes, they're playing the Grizzlies. I get it, but for how the West is shaping out right now, I'm not going to say they're not. I'm not going to say they're not.
It's anybody's.
I really think they can make it to the finals. But the West is more open than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I say they have a good shot at making the finals.
Okay. I think they have a chance too. I think of course, depending how other things play out, we'll see. But I think that they do end up making it at least to the conference. I don't know. It depends on who wins that Mavs-Clippers series, because if the Mavs win, I think the Mavs lose, and if the Clippers win, I think the Clippers win.
Still, so how far can Luka carry? That's the biggest question for the Mavs.
I don't think he can carry past the first round, but we'll see.
I don't know. If he gets past the first round, I don't think...
We will talk about that. Hold on. We will talk about that. Okay. We'll get into that. The last question for that series, how long until the Grizzlies are actually contenders, and what do they need? I think it's probably about 3 years away, and I think they need
2.
They need an actual
depends
star.
on how these free agencies come along. If they can land a Kawhi type player out of the blue, I know he's not going to. He's not going to go to the Grizzlies. But if they got a Kawhi, if they got a Beal, if they got a Levine, another star like that, I think, or even Brandon Ingram, trade for Brandon Ingram, that might not be bad either.
Yeah, if they can get one more star,
I'd say about 2 to 3, like you said.
Because Ja Morant has kind of came out as a star. They have a solid center. Valanciunas is solid. They have a good 3-and-D guy. Dylan Brooks is a scoring defender. And if Jaren Jackson can progress,
if he can stay healthy and keep it going, then I think that's, like you said, it's a big one. He was good when he was healthy. The biggest thing is, can he stay healthy?
So, they got some questions before they're actually contenders, but we'll see how that plays out.
But
we'll get into another series.
I think they're closer as a full team than the Mavericks.
You think so? Yeah, we'll discuss the Mavericks. I got a lot to talk about the Mavericks, though.
Yeah.
Once we get to that series. So we'll get to the Nuggets and Blazers who played last night. Nuggets have gone up 3-2. Dame has been hooping. I'll just say that. Dame has been hooping. He had 55 points, 10 assists. Probably one of the best performances in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And 2 game-tying difficult threes last night. And
Austin Rivers ended up pulling it out. He said he can't miss.
I know, I saw him go.
This dude can't miss. That was Dame. Yeah, he was like this after that miss. They interviewed at the end. He said, I love playing against him. He's hard to go against, but he can't miss. When it's Dame time, he's not missing.
Yeah. And another young player.
And I like it at the end. He just starts slapping his wrist. I love it.
Another young player that has proven to be a star is Michael Porter Jr. That dude has been balling out a little bit. Nuggets have been proving that they don't need Murray to be successful because, in my opinion, they have a legit shot at least the conference finals.
Mm-hmm. They were the
team. Not saying that they will, but let's just say that their second round matchup is the Suns. That's beatable, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. I think that's beatable.
And I think even Lakers, it's beatable.
And then, Lakers are a little compromised. So let's just say that it is the Suns, and the conference finals isn't hard to reach, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. I think Nuggets really could easily make it to the finals.
Yeah. So a question for, let's just say that then. You got the Nuggets winning the series then, right?
Yeah.
Me too. How long can Damian Lillard stay in Portland if they lose in the first round again?
I personally think he's going to pull, not saying Kobe just because it's Kobe, but that type of thing where I think he's going to want to stay in Portland. The way he's been talking about how he wants to lead this team, how he doesn't like super teams. He doesn't want to join a super team. I think he's going to stay with Portland, which I think is dumb. if I'm Portland, you have to somehow make a move. CJ's not it.
Yeah, I'd be looking into a CJ for Beal type move, just something that shows that you're willing to make some moves to get this team better.
And you have Nurkic and Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter is not great, but if you can get rid of Nurkic and get another guy, like that's another scorer. Like Dame can't do it all. He can't.
I like the Norman Powell. I like Norman Powell. I think they should keep him. And so if they have Dame, Beal, Powell, Melo, and then Nurkic, it's a good lineup. I just don't know if it's enough. I just don't know what they can do.
Do you see that beating Nuggets, a healthy Warriors when they're back? Do you see that? Like, I get Klay was a big factor in why the Warriors weren't who they are, but I think that lineup right there isn't beating the Warriors with a healthy Klay.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's just I don't think it's enough, and that's why if I was Dame, I'd be like, all right, I don't think Portland can get the pieces around me. I don't think.
I think he thinks that, but he's not going to leave. He hates super teams, which NBA now it's super teams. There's going to be two stars for at least two forming together to have a chance.
Yep. All right, so we'll go on to who they're playing, who they would play, the Lakers or Suns. So last night, AD missed a game. He missed part of Game 4 and then all of Game 5, which was last night. And Lakers lose both and get absolutely blown out the water last night.
Yeah.
They're now down 3-2. Do the Lakers have a chance?
I was reading an article today, and I was watching his interview. And by the way LeBron's talking, I don't think Lakers have a chance. He literally told AD, if you're not good to go or you don't think you're going to be able to do it, sit out. Why are you in this moment? You're down 3-2, and it's not working just you. Why are you telling your next best player just to sit out? You want him to fight back. Yeah, it's a groin injury. It's a tough one, but I think right there, and I love LeBron, my favorite player all time. I think that if something happens, they're going to talk about it to where, oh, they were injured. That's why they couldn't do it. Oh, look who he had to go against. I'm like, yeah, he had to go against Devin Booker. Chris Paul's one hurt. Ayton didn't play good last game. Like, there's no excuses for this right now. You're LeBron. You're AD, one of the top big men in the league. You need to play through this.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say, of course, they have a chance.
They always have a chance, but I think deep down Suns are taking it serious.
I'd probably say the Suns take it, but if AD does come back Game 6, they're in LA. I don't see them losing that game.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go to a Game 7, I'm not going against LeBron in a Game 7. And if they're healthy and LeBron is there and it's a Game 7, I don't see them losing that. So I think all they have to do is win Game 6.
This next game,
it's over.
It's over for a tip-off.
It's over.
If AD don't play. Harrell, no clue where he's been right now.
They don't play him.
The dude even when he does play a little bit, it's not the same Harrell as the Clippers. Who has won 6 Man of the Year? Like you have him. You have Dennis Schroeder, who last game shot awful. Like that team.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder didn't score a single point.
Yeah, he shot awful, and like that team without AD and LeBron, their role players aren't anything right now.
Yeah, I don't get why. They were so hyped coming into the season. All these role players. They were supposed to have. LeBron is surrounded by some of the best role players he's ever had.
Yeah. These role players would fit him perfect. Marc Gasol, I thought was going to be huge.
Marc Gasol is just such a liability on defense. Andre Drummond cannot do anything besides rebound.
Again, I forgot about Drummond. I swear.
Yeah, and then I know because he does nothing but rebound. That's it.
You hear the Lakers? He's their future. They're gonna make sure he's solidified in the future.
They don't have the money for that. He wants big money. I know he does.
Oh yeah.
And then Harrell, they don't even play. So they have 3 useless centers, and when AD's there, he's the only big that actually can do something. So they definitely need him if they're going to win Game 6, and if they're going to win Game 7 in Phoenix, they need him. But this could be the year LeBron finally loses.
If they sneak it out, they're not making it past the next round.
You don't think so? Not against a Nuggets team?
If the Nuggets pull it out and they end up taking a series, I just think it's too much for them right now. They're hot. Michael Porter Jr. is hot. Jokic's the best center in the league. And AD's not going to be healthy. LeBron still says he's not 100%.
I think I see this playing out a little bit like, was that 2018? When they ended up taking out the Pacers in Game 7,
Mhm.
and then they ended up sweeping the Raptors, and so I could see them end up whooping up on the Nuggets, and then go into the conference finals, but that's where they lose to either the Clippers, the Jazz, not the Mavs, because the Mavs won't make it there. But yeah, all right. So let's just say that the Suns do win this, though, and like I said, the second round is up for anybody. Who knows who's going to win that? If it's Jazz, Clippers, Nuggets, and Suns, you have no idea who's going to come out of that. Anybody could. So if Chris Paul brings his team to the conference finals or finals, where does that put him on the all-time point guards list? Because I think that's all he's missing is a trip to the finals or a trip to the conference finals, because it's been a little
Where
bit.
do you have him? Like personally, right now, I have him at.
I have him top 10.
Yeah, I know I have him top 10. I think if he makes it to the finals, he sneaks in the top 5. I think
Possibly.
that's really. I think that's all he misses.
I think that it's obvious that Magic's better than him. I think it's obvious that Steph's better than him. Probably, it's tough. I mean, you got to
Point
put.
guard's solid. It's a good position. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's. There's been a lot of great point guards. Man, because even Russell Westbrook has to be in that top 5 probably all time.
I'm not big with single
I'm not a
player
big.
stats. Like,
He's made a finals.
no, I get that, but I'm just not a Westbrook fan. That's just me. I'm just not a Westbrook fan, so I can't put him. I can't put Westbrook in my top 5.
Yeah, if you look at his career and what he's done, it's hard to not put him there.
I know, but I'm just saying, me personally, I can't put him in my top 5.
But do you have him above Chris Paul?
No.
You have Chris Paul above him?
Right now, I have him about the same. If Chris Paul makes it to a conference finals, at least I have Chris Paul above him.
Yeah, I think if Chris Paul makes it to a conference finals, he does have a chance to break in that top 5. But I still have him because I have him probably about 7 on the list, probably 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he breaks, or if he makes it to a finals on the team that he's leading, because if he made it to, I mean, even if he made it to the finals with Houston, it would have been nice because it would have taken out that Warriors team.
Yeah.
But they made it to the conference finals and probably would have made it to the finals if he didn't get hurt. But that was hard. That was Harden's team.
Hurt.
I know. That was Harden's team, though, and on the Rockets. And
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't as impressive. This team is basically his. I mean, of course, Devin Booker's the star, but I mean, Chris Paul is leading this team.
Just like he did with the Thunder.
Yep.
Chris Paul is, if you want a definition of an MVP, it's Chris Paul.
Yeah. So let's move on to the final series that we haven't talked about. Clippers and Mavs, they're playing right now. Looks like the Mavs have a lead. But Luka was injured the last couple games. It was a big reason for their past 2 losses. I think the biggest reason, though, why they lost those last 2 games, and I think they're going to lose a series because of this. Porzingis is not a good enough star to go anywhere. I think
he's
that
not even a star
the Clippers
anymore.
I think he can be a number 3.
I
think he's every bit as good as Julius Randle.
I can't say that. I really can't say that right now.
In the playoffs, so far, he's been doing about the same thing.
Okay, I know, I get that, but I'm just saying in general. Porzingis with the Knicks is nowhere near where he is right now with the Mavericks. I was hyped when he got traded. I thought it was going to be a nice duo.
If he could stay healthy for a full season, he could actually probably get better. But he never can.
I get that, but like he's getting out rebounded by point guards. Like, you're 7 foot, dude. I don't care if you're
he's averaging 4 rebounds a night in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's really weak, but the Clippers duo is just way outperforming them. I think if you had to tell me who's having a better series so far, and if you're counting Luka's last 2 games or mostly his last game, then Kawhi has been the best player of the series. Kawhi has been averaging the same amount of points as Luka and has been shooting 63% from the field. He has had some amazing efficiency. And then Paul George comes in, averages 25, 50% from the field. Luka has been holding his own with 33 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, but he's only shooting 41% from the field, 41% from 3. And then Porzingis is only averaging 15 and 4.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's hurting them right now. Somehow Luka's finding a way to win. We'll see how he does tonight. Do you have anything to say? I have a question about this series, but I'll let you talk
I
about
really
it.
don't have any, I really don't have anything to say. Like I want the Mavericks to win because I like Luka, but I think the Clippers end up pulling out the series, and there's only so much Luka can do for the Mavericks.
Mhm.
And I don't think that
So,
I don't think there's enough in them to get past the Clippers at least.
so if the Mavs lose to the Clippers in this series, do they trade Porzingis?
I don't know. I don't know. Who do you think's actually going to want Porzingis right now?
There's got to be somebody
Don't he
willing to
still
give
have a
up
lot?
something.
Don't he still have a good amount of money on cap hit from that deal with the Knicks?
Probably. They gave up a ton of picks for him too.
Yeah.
So I think that they have plenty of money to sign somebody this offseason, but I was thinking if you could get somebody for Porzingis that's worth it, and if you could sign, maybe Kawhi would look there. If the Mavs can beat him, maybe Kawhi would look to
I
join.
I think in general Kawhi might consider even how they're playing right now. He has a front of view of how Luka is, and he sees Luka being a star. What if he's like, "Hey, I'm coming, and
Somebody's
I
got to
can bring
join them.
someone like Serge. I can bring someone with me that can
Yeah,
help be another role." I think I could see it happening.
somebody's got
But
to join Luca.
yeah, or else it's gonna be like a Damian Lillard type thing.
Yep. All right, so we'll get down to our round one awards. Who do you think is the MVP of round one?
Are we doing just one? Or are we doing the top three? Like what?
I got two of them tied for one on mine. So whatever you want to do. I have a third.
Are you doing top five? Or are you doing top three?
I'm doing three.
Three. Okay. Well, my top three right now is I got a tie for one, but it's my number three is Dame, even though they're losing, like we talked about. My number two is Trae Young, and my number one is a tie between Luka and the combo of Booker and Chris Paul. The way that they're going against the Lakers right now. I'm not going to put a team like the Nets. I'm not going to put any of their big three up there. I already knew in my head that they were going to be the ones who were going to kill it. They're going to do it. Same with Giannis. Like I'm not going to go out there and pick a big star who we knew was going to dominate. And for me, look at this stuff. I'm looking for teams like Luka. We didn't see him doing what he's doing right now.
Yep.
And then Chris Paul. We know what Chris Paul does, but him and Devin Booker going against the Lakers. Yeah, they're not healthy, but still it's LeBron. In the playoffs, LeBron's a different type of guy. So I already know you're probably 1, 2, 3 is Harden, Kyrie, Durant. There's my top three.
No. I think Harden has a case. I think KD has a case. I don't think Kyrie has a case, but I think Giannis has a case.
Mm-hmm.
I think Giannis. My two are Giannis and KD, just because they both took care of their business. They fucking got through it. I mean, Trae Young took care of business too, but I still think Trae Young didn't play as well as them. I think Trae Young's even behind Dame, right? I mean, Trae Young's definitely behind Luka to me.
The only reason I'm putting Trae Young above Dave in mine is because Trae Young made it to the next round. And
he made it to the next round. That's what I'm saying. He's definitely he might be in front of Dame because of that, but I have him definitely behind Luka. So my top three would be Giannis, KD / Harden, whichever one you wanted to put there, whichever one you think is the reason for us winning. Which honestly, Harden could be the reason for us winning, and then the third would be Luka. Only because of Luka's last game and he's hurt, and you don't know if they're actually going to make it out of the first round or not. The other two have made it out of the first round, so that's my pick.
I agree. Like if I was going by like every player, Giannis is my number one. Have the way he took care of the Heat, but I already expected him to do good for his status and all that stuff. Like I personally looked at the playoffs like
no. You said Giannis is not a playoff player. You said Giannis will not beat the Heat.
I will say that. Yeah. I'll say yeah. I said that because I'm a Heat fan. But Giannis, if Giannis plays like Giannis, he's the best player in the league. Giannis is a freak of nature. And he played like he should have. He played like he did when he won the MVPs. Now, if it was a Giannis in last year's playoffs and the year before, then no, that Giannis is. But
you're giving him the award that we never even talked about, the most improved, huh? You're giving him the most improved, round one most improved.
Yes, round one most improved player of the year goes to Giannis. That's what it goes to.
All right, we'll talk about another award. The most surprising team, in your opinion. Who's been the most surprising team?
Of the whole playoffs, I'd still say Mavericks. They're my most surprising
Yep.
team, really.
I have them on there, but I also had to put the opposite direction. Who surprised me the most was the Miami Heat. They surprised me the fucking most. That was just ugly and ass kicking, straight just domination.
I've heard
I
it
was
every
not
day. I
expecting
don't need
them
to hear
to.
it anymore. All right, I get it.
I know you've been hearing it, but that was the most surprising team to me. They just laid a fart and went home. All right. Let's talk about what series do you think is the best right now, or what series do you think is the best, or was the best, or in round one?
Like just the best, like in general, in round one so
Yes,
far.
yeah, the best to watch, the most entertaining, the most.
Oh, the best to watch is the Nuggets and Trailblazers, in my opinion.
It's been a good one.
It's fun watching.
I'm gonna go with the
You're gonna
Mavs
say
and
your
Clippers.
Nets. Oh,
The
okay.
Mavs, the
Okay,
Mavs
I
and
thought you were
Clippers.
gonna say your Nets.
No, because it was easy. It was easy. Okay.
No, I get Mavs and Clippers, but I expected the Clippers to play a lot better. So yeah, I guess I can say that's fun to watch. But it's fun to watch Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. and Dame. It's fun to watch Dame.
They just play at such a late time, and it's hard to watch them. But every game seems like it's fucking like 9 o'clock at night when they're starting, so I don't ever watch them. Or when the Nets are on around the same time.
I just catch a couple on my phone a couple times where I'll like watch
Well,
the highlights.
It's easy when the heater bounced. You can watch everything you want.
Okay. It's also hard to watch it when they're starting 2 hours behind us.
Okay, but yeah, I think the Mavs and Clippers, it's going to go down to the at least. I mean, it's obviously going down to Game 6 already, so I think that's going to be a really good matchup. Scariest team of the playoffs so far.
Well, in my opinion, the scariest is the Bucks.
It's been the scariest so far. But I gotta say Nets because the Bucks played a team that shot less than 40% from the field all series, couldn't make a shot, just didn't rebound, didn't even show up to play. You can't.
Yeah. But Giannis, Drew, and Middleton, I think, are scary right now. They're coming off everyone doubting them, saying, "Are they actually going to be a playoff team? Was the Heat like it last year? Are they going to beat them again?" There's a lot of analysts even saying that same thing. And then they got momentum going on, and they're going to say the same thing with the Nets. They're going to be like, "Oh, they can't compete with the Nets." I'm not comparing them, but I think the Bucks run right now is kind of like the Heat's run last year. They thought the Heat were going to be them. A lot of them are going to say the Nets are going to be them just because the superstar power for the Nets.
The odds are favored towards the Nets right now, but I mean, like the Las Vegas odds, the FanDuel odds, whatever you want to look at, they're favored towards the Nets right now. But I think, but you're right that everybody was saying that this is going to be a good matchup because the Bucks and the Heat clashed last year. The Heat have a chance of beating them. You never know. That's why I have them as my most surprising team because they literally did not come out and play like everybody was expecting. I'm not trying to dog on them in any way.
At one point, I was just begging to win a game. I didn't want to get swept. I was like, let's win one.
I don't know what happened after that first game. You guys had it. I thought you guys were going to pull that one out.
Middleton was crazy.
And I was like, all right, well, you guys lost. And then I was like, you guys get to go back to Miami. You know, even if you lose the next game, you guys got slapped out of the fucking gym that game.
It's just like what Charles Barkley was saying. Jimmy Butler has to be the star. He can talk all he wants, but he's not privy on the court. And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I don't think – yeah, you guys have to probably do something. And it's tough.
He's like he was saying, he's like, okay, he shot 2 for 8 that game from the 3. I don't care if you're shooting 2 for 8. You're still going to shoot. If you're the star of that team, you can get hot. If you think you're going to lead this team, you still shoot, which he did, and it kept on going downhill.
Mm-hmm. So what happens when you shoot 26% from 3 and 29%?
He listens. Yeah. He kept shooting bricks.
All right, so we'll get into some more of the second round discussion a little bit. I know we already talked about who we got from the Bucks and Nets series, who we got from the Hawks and Sixers series. So let's talk a little bit about who is most likely going to be in the second round. Let's just say it's Clippers or Mavs, whichever one you want to choose, versus the Jazz.
I think we both said Clippers, really.
Yeah, I have the Clippers beating the Mavs.
I had the Clippers beating the Mavericks, too.
And then I have the Clippers beating the Jazz, too.
I got Jazz beating the Clippers.
Okay. And then let's go down to the Nuggets and Suns, most likely. Suns or Lakers. I'm going to say
that's
the Suns.
what we assumed. Yeah.
Both assume the Suns. I say the
I
Suns
got
win that one.
Nuggets.
I say the Suns
Oh,
win that one.
I got Nuggets.
So it'll be Sun. To me, I got the Suns and Clippers, and you got the Nuggets and Jazz
And then I got the Jazz making it to the finals.
against
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Hawks and Bucks. You take the Bucks. I'm gonna say Clippers and Nets, just like my bracket says, and Nets all the way in 5.
And then I got Bucks in 6.
By the way, I did predict on one of our very first pods that the Clippers. I promised the Clippers were gonna make it to the conference finals. I promised that shit. So let's hope that actually happens.
I just hope
I don't want to.
now I hope the Mavericks beat them in the first round. Now I hope that's what happens.
I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be like you guaranteeing a Heat win, and I don't want to be like Charles Barkley guaranteeing. No. That's what I'm saying. I want to be right.
Okay, I got you now.
I don't want to be like you and Charles Barkley wrong every fucking time, saying the Suns aren't even going to make the playoffs.
Wrong every time. But last year I was the only one person in our group that had the bracket 100%. Had a 100% bracket.
That was last year, man. You have not predicted a thing this year, all right?
Yeah, I did. I predicted the Nets over the Celtics.
Oh, that's a tough one. But no, I mean, Charles Barkley predicted the Blazers to win the finals after like game 2 of the regular season. So
yeah, no, I don't ever listen to that. Really.
No, Barkley's a dumbass. So yeah, we did the whole second round. All we got left is the awards that have been handed out so far, which has only been 2. I think we guessed both of these right. Did you guess most improved, Randall?
Mm-hmm.
Me too, and then I guessed we both guessed Clarkson
Sixth
for
man.
Sixth Man.
Yeah.
So we're right there. I think Coach of the Year, I think I had Tibbs, and I think you picked Monty, and it looks like Monty might win that one. And then MVP, I think we both went Jokic.
I said Jokic, but I wanted it to be Steph, but I said Jokic. It was.
Yeah, so we'll see when those get handed out. We'll just do them on the next pod because they probably won't get handed out until after the second round, anyways.
Yeah.
Then I have a good thing for next time, or maybe at the end of the season, because I have an idea of teams are starting to get trios, So I was just looking into some trios, and yeah, we'll talk about that next time.
All right.
That's all I have for this one. It's a good one. Got to talk good about the Nets, bad about the Heat. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do another one after round 2, though.
All right.
Yeah, that'll do it.